Well, hello there again, friends. It's cold outside. We're not to the point just yet where it's cold, cold, but it's definitely cold outside. And in fact, even during my drive home last night, I noticed just how fast our air temperatures literally fell off a cliff. I watched the little thermometer on my dashboard just for fun, especially since I have to drive so far from here in Orlando down to Polk County, and I saw at least a 10 to 12 degree temperature drop during the hour and a half some odd time I spent on the freeway yesterday. Now, the reason I say it's not cold, cold yet is because, well, I'm here to tell you that this isn't quite the main event just yet. That's coming. That's coming this Saturday in the form of another area of low pressure that's going to be sparked by another piece of jet stream energy from way up north in northern central Canada that's going to guide another pool, a shallow but thick pool of bona fide Arctic air from the northern Canadian territories through the provinces, across the international border into the northern United States, and then down as far south as the southern plains and us here in central Florida. This is what we have to look forward to, or I should say, the opposite, a lack thereof of looking forward to what could possibly be historical temperatures, as you can see by the banner at the top. The downtown Orlando area could be somewhere around 25, 26 degrees. Now, I will caveat or throw in the disclaimer that this is the American GFS model. I used to have the European model pulled up for a bulk of the graphics that we've been creating for the last couple days, but I've noticed an interesting trend with that model, and I'll pull it up for a later update if those trends continue to hold. But for the time being, we're still seeing unanimous agreement that everybody, not a few of us, not a large majority, but everybody in the downtown Orlando area and the Central Florida viewing area for us here at News 6 will be in the mid to upper 20s. Northern counties, the further north you go, we're talking Marion, Alachua counties, Flagler County, Putnam County. If you're watching from up there, we could get into the upper teens in terms of our air temperatures. And the reason I wanted to make this video today was to kind of talk about what the historical temps could look like. And I'm not too sure why the graphic just went flying through the air like that. I guess that was kind of dating back to where the cold temps actually came from. But here's a look at what those historical temps look like. This is our top 5 ranking out there for the Central Florida area. Coming in at number 1, the heavyweight contender, I should say the undisputed heavyweight champ. Back during the Great Freeze, as it's called, of 1894, we had a temperature of 18 degrees here in our neighborhood. Then we have a runner-up at 19 degrees just the year after, shortly thereafter, only a couple months after, February 7th, 1895. And then almost 100 years exactly, we tied that record. Now, I know we're off by 10 there, but 1985, January 21st, was another date and time where we pulled 19 degrees off of an observation here in town. And then we have some contenders for honorable mentions there in number 4 and 5 positions. Valentine's Day, 1899, with a whopping 20-degree temp out there. And then once again, December 13th, 1962, matching that Valentine's Day freeze, coming in the number 4 spot. Kind of noticing a trend here. You can kind of see the winter season front and center there, yeah? From December to February, the peak of the winter season. These do naturally ebb and flow, and I think we'll find it very interesting that a large majority of our heavy hitter numbers there, not to keep throwing boxing analogies at you, but a lot of our heavy hitter numbers there are from the late 1800s and early 1900s. Just a fun fact there. Now, while we're not going to get close to smashing the all-time record here, we are going to probably set some day records, or in the date range records here. And if you look, the forecast versus the cold, on the left-hand side, that's what we're pinpointing for a few different locations here in the Florida Peninsula, with Melbourne, Daytona Beach, Sanford, and Leesburg on the board. If it's highlighted in red, that means you are probably going to beat the record. And in this case, all across the board, we're all likely to beat some daytime records here for February 1st at least. And you can see on the right-hand side, the record for Melbourne is 32, set in 1966. Daytona Beach, record of 30, 1936. 37 degrees for Sanford, dated back to 1965. And the record for Leesburg is at 30 degrees back in 1979. The feels like temps are going to be even more outlandish from there. Now, I don't want to show those for the sake of saving you time. We're going to have more updates rolling out as we go through the rest of this week, but just be prepared. It's going to be something unlike a lot of us have probably experienced, especially if you're new to the Florida area and came down for the sake of escaping the winter outbreak that we're going to be seeing not only for the rest of this week, but especially this weekend and the 1st of February.